Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a new pattern for you, and this time it's Chopper from the anime One Piece. This hat was the bane of my existence for about a month. It may not be perfect, but I think it came out pretty cute, and I hope you guys will like it too, so let's just jump right into it. For this hat, you will need medium weight coral yarn, tan yarn, and brown yarn, lightweight white yarn. You'll also need a 5mm hook, a 4mm hook, and a 3.5mm hook. You're also going to need pliers and doll wire, a yarn needle, scissors, and some stuffing. Starting with your 5mm hook and your coral color yarn, we're going to begin with a magic circle. If you don't know how to do that, I have a video in the playlist of the Crochet Basics series to help you out. Secure your magic circle with a chain, and then put 10 half double crochets into the magic circle. I also cover the half double crochet stitch if you don't know how to do that on the Crochet Basics series playlist. We're now going to pull our magic circle closed, and we're going to begin our second row by making an increase into each stitch around for a total of 20 stitches. Okay, we're now going to start our third row, and we're going to begin by making a half double crochet into the first stitch and then an increase into the second. And you're going to repeat the sequence all the way around so you have a total of 30 stitches. Okay, we're now going to begin our fourth row, and we're going to do that by making a half double crochet into the first 2 stitches and then an increase into the third, and we're going to repeat the sequence all the way around for a total of 40 stitches. For row 5, we're now going to make a half double crochet into the first 3 stitches and then an increase into the fourth, and we're going to repeat this sequence all the way around for a total of 50 stitches. For the 6th row, we are now going to make a half double crochet into the first 4 stitches and then an increase into the 5th, and we're going to repeat the sequence all the way around for a total of 60 stitches. For the next row, we are going to make a half double crochet into the first 5 stitches and then an increase into the 6th, repeating this all the way around for a total of 70 stitches. And for the 8th row, we are going to make a half double crochet into the first 6 stitches and then an increase into the 7th, repeating this sequence all the way around for a total of 80 stitches. My hat's going to be a small, so I'm going to stop increasing now, but if you wanted a larger hat, you can just keep repeating the increase sequence to 90 or 100 or whatever you need for your own head. But for me, I'm going to stop here and move on with the pattern. So for this next row, I'm going to just be making a half double crochet all the way around, no increases, but I will be doing it in the back loop only, just like this. And I'm just going to do it in the back loop only all the way around, and I'll meet you back to tell you how to do the next row. Okay, and this is what you should have. I wanted to do a back loop only half double row because it should define the top hat look of the hat a lot better. Now for the next 13 rows, I'm going to be just putting a half double crochet into each stitch around, and I will meet you back when that process is over. Okay, so we're back from doing the 13 normal rows, and we're going to begin making the brim of the hat. So for this next row, we're going to be making a half double crochet into the first 7 stitches and then an increase into the 8th. And we're going to repeat this all the way around, but we are going to be doing it in the front loop only so that the brim of the hat lays better. For this next row, we are just going to put a half double crochet into each stitch around, and I will meet you back when that's done. For row 25, we are going to be making a half double crochet into the first 8 stitches and then an increase into the 9th. We're going to repeat this all the way around for a total of 100 stitches. For row 26, we are just going to be putting a half double crochet into each stitch around. Row 27 is going to be another increase round, so we are going to put a half double crochet into the first 9 stitches and then an increase into the 10th, repeating the sequence all the way around for a total of 110 stitches. For row 28, we are once again going to be putting a half double crochet into each stitch around. For row 29, for the last time, we are going to make another increase round. We're going to put a half double crochet into the first 10 stitches and then an increase in the 11th, repeating the sequence all the way around for a total of 120 stitches. We're now going to finish off this hat with one last row of making a half double crochet into each stitch around. I feel really good about how the hat looks now, so I'm going to fasten off and weave in my ends. If you want the hat to be wider, you can of course keep repeating the same pattern. I'm sure you've picked up on it by now, and just keep making as big as you want. But for me, I'm going to stop here and move on with this pattern. I do this step after you're done with the whole pattern, but a good pro tip for making the brim stand stiffer is to pin down your brim to the shape you want. And then you're going to want to take a water bottle and mist it down really well, and then let it dry for some hours or until it's completely dry, and the hat should lay a lot better after that. So taking my lightweight white yarn and my 3.5mm hook, we're going to begin to make this X by making a slip knot and then chaining 13. Now turn your work and make a single crochet all the way across for a total of 12 stitches. You're now going to chain 1 and repeat making a single crochet all the way across for a total of 4 rows, so 3 more times. Now I'm going to fasten off this piece here. I'm going to make a chain and then cut off a long tail for sewing and then pull through. And now I'm going to repeat these steps so I have 2 pieces and make sure that the other piece has a long tail as well. Okay, so I have my 2 identical pieces now, and the idea is to take one of the tails to sew to the hat and one of the tails to sew the 2 pieces together. So I'm going to weave my yarn needle now, and I'm going to attach the 2 pieces so that it makes an X. So I'm going to weave one of my yarn tails up the side so that it can be where I need it to be to sew the 2 pieces together. And now I'm just going to start sewing. I'm going to just go up and down, making like a zigzag pattern, just to make sure that both the pieces are very secure to each other. Okay, this is what you should have. I weaved in the ends already, and now all that's left to do is to just sew it on to the front of the hat, which I'm going to do right now. Starting with your tan yarn and 4mm hook, we are going to begin our ears with a magic circle. I'm going to chain 1 to secure it, and then I'm going to put 3 single crochets into that circle. Now pull the circle closed, and we're going to begin our first row by making an increase into the first stitch. And then in the remaining 2 stitches, we're going to just put 1 single crochet into each of those. This will give you a total of 4 stitches. For the second row, we are going to put an increase into the first single crochet. And then put a single crochet into the next 3 stitches for a total of 5. For the third row, we are going to put a single crochet into the first stitch, and then an increase into the second. And we're going to repeat that for the third and fourth stitch, so 1 single crochet and then another increase. And then in the last stitch, we're just going to put 1 single crochet. This gives us a total of 7 stitches. For the fourth row, we are going to make a single crochet into the first stitch, an increase into the second, and we're going to repeat that sequence a total of 3 times. And then in the remaining stitch, we're going to make a single crochet. This will give us a total of 10 stitches. For row 5, we are just going to put a single crochet into the first stitch, an increase into the second, and we're going to repeat that sequence a total of 5 times, giving us 15 stitches. For the next row, we are just going to put a single crochet into each stitch around. For row 7, we're going to make a single crochet into the first 2 stitches and then an increase into the third. We're going to repeat that sequence all the way around for a total of 20 stitches. For this last row, we are just going to make a single crochet into each stitch around. So that's the finished ear, and now we're going to finish it up by folding it in half, and then we're just going to stick our hook through both sides of the ear and make a single crochet through both of those stitches. We're going to do that all the way across the ear for a total of 10 stitches. To fasten off the ear, I'm going to put a slip stitch into the last stitch of the ear, and then I'm going to cut off a very long tail for sewing and then pull all the way through. And that's the finished product, and you should of course make 2 because he has 2 ears. To begin our antlers, we are going to take our brown yarn and 4mm hook and make a magic circle. I'm then going to chain 1 to secure it, and then I'm going to make 5 single crochets into the circle. Now close your circle, and we're going to begin our first row by making an increase in each stitch around for a total of 10 stitches. For the second row, we are going to make a single crochet into the first stitch and then an increase into the second. Repeat this all the way around for a total of 15 stitches. Then for rows 3 through 33, we are just going to make a single crochet into each stitch around. For this antler, we're going to wire it, so grab your doll wire and also your wire cutter / pliers, and we're going to curl the end like this so it doesn't poke through and hurt anybody. Then we're going to put it through the empty antler casing here and measure off a good section of wire. I cut off a little bit extra so that I can curl the other end of the wire as well. Now once the wire is inserted, we're going to now stuff the antler lightly. We don't want to overstuff it, but just enough to give it that shape. We're now going to start closing the antler up, so for this next row we're going to take it from 15 stitches to 10. So to do that, you're going to want to make a single crochet into the first stitch and then make a decrease. For this pattern, I'm going to be using invisible decreases. If you don't know how to do that or don't want to learn how to do that, you can just use regular decreases. So you're going to want to insert your hook into the front loop only of the next stitch, and then the front loop of the stitch after that. So now you have 3 loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. And then you're going to yarn over again and pull through the remaining 2 loops. And that's how you do an invisible decrease. So I'm just going to repeat the sequence of making 1 single crochet and then a decrease all the way around, and I should end up with 10 stitches. For this last row, we're going to be taking it from 10 stitches to 5, so to do that, we're going to just make a decrease all the way around. I'm going to be using the invisible decrease technique, which is optional, but I'm just going to do that, and you should end up with 5 stitches. When you're done, cut off a very long tail for sewing and sew up the bottom. Repeat this process again to make another antler, but this time you don't have to wire it. For the last antler, you're going to want to repeat rows 1 through 30 that we just did, and I'll meet you back when you have that. So this is how the last antler should look. This one is going to remain open-ended, and I wired it so that I can connect it to the other antlers. It's going to be the one that connects to the base of the hat. And these are my other 2 ones that I made. One's wired and one's not. That way, when I sew them together, the one that's not wired can conform to the shape. That's why the other wire is not necessary. So to begin this antler assembly, I'm going to start with my 2 completed antlers, and I'm going to start sewing those 2 together right now. So the easiest way to do this is to line them up straight and take one of the long tails we cut off from earlier and just start sewing them together by going back and forth. I am leaving the ends a little bit separate from each other just so that they look like they are separate, but the rest I'm just going to sew together. Okay, so I just finished sewing my antlers together. I kept the ends apart so that they look like separate pieces. And now that they're sewn together, we can just bend them into that U shape that we're looking for. So we're going to take a little break from our antler making and we're going to sew on the ears now. And basically, what I did was I put on the hat, and wherever my ears lined up, that's where I put the ears. I just put them above my own ears. I'm going to sew them like this so that they're curled. And basically I'm going to put them where the brim meets the hat, like this. And that's basically all there is to it. And so I'm just going to sew those on now. Now that the ears are sewn on, it looks super cute. And now we have a guide of where to put our antlers. So we're going to take our third antler piece, the one where it is not completed on the bottom, where it has an exposed end. And we're just going to sew that now a little bit above our ear. I only did like maybe a stitch or two above, but yeah, I'm just going to take this time now to sew on this antler piece, and I'll meet you back to show you how the rest of it gets put together. Okay, so now that I have my shorter antler on, I'm now going to attach the other two antlers to that one. So I'm going to line them up here towards the hat, and I'm just going to take some of my threads that I still have hanging around to attach it now to the top half of the third antler. And now that the antlers are all attached on the side, the only thing that's left to do is to make it stand straight up. So I'm going to take one of my extra yarn tails here, and I'm going to attach it now to the top of the hat. So where I decided to sew on my antlers was basically the back loop only row of the hat, so not on top of the actual hat, but on the top edge of the hat. And basically I just marked out with pins where I wanted my antlers to be sewn on. And I ended up sewing about 1.5 antlers of the middle one to the actual hat, and that seemed to be enough to support the antlers so I could wear it. And basically this is what the finished side looks like, and I'm just going to repeat this process on the other side, and I'll meet you back when that's done. Alright, I finished sewing on the other side, and this is how your hat should look, and that's basically all there is to it. I think it came out really cute, and I'm happy with the final product. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!